section specifically at the first. If you watch the entire podcast, it will make sense.
This is the reason I have told this यहाँ पे because ताकि last तक रहे तो उनको पता अच्छा.
How would they know if they are not here? It's a catch-22 situation. Hello and welcome to our first ever podcast. This is going to be a very unscripted session. So if you're watching this, make sure that you're watching or here you can, just hear this while you're driving to your work or you're commuting. We will just have basic introductory discussions, maybe about AI here and there. With me, we have Vivek. Vivek is super serious. So he might not give you the friendly vibe, but we'll ask Vivek to be nice to us. Vivek?
I will be nice.
You'll be nice?
It's not being very.
Are you sure you'll be nice?
Obviously.
Okay, that's introductions out of the way. Now my second point just says that I need to talk about AI. Vivek, let's talk about AI.
How serious the environment actually got by just saying about let's talk about AI. So if we are talking about the AI, alright, so as we can see, it is artificial intelligence in short. But artificial intelligence...
You mean in long?
In long, it is artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
My mistake. So, it is right now taking over the whole world, we can say, because it is a new current topic which I am looking at. Whenever I see Instagram, whenever I am looking at YouTube, everyone is talking about AI. Alright, now the current trend,
Even we are talking about AI, right?
Yeah.
Following the trends, keeping up with the trends with Kardashians, no, tech defense.
So we are actually, everyone is talking about the AI right now, and AI is right now the current, the new booming industry, you can say. Alright, if you see at the AI index, alright, we have AI index present. We have the actual resources which will actually show you how much investments and everything is actually being done on the AI. We have the recent thing about AI as well. Everyone might be talking about that thing, that is about AI platforms.
For example,
you already know the name, I guess.
Are we talking about ChatGPT already?
Obviously.
Wait, we are 2 minutes into the podcast and that's what the new record. Not to talk about ChatGPT, but yeah, ChatGPT, right?
It is going to come into the picture anyhow because it is everywhere. Wherever I go, there is ChatGPT. I hear ChatGPT a lot.
It's that meme. Wherever I go, I see this face. Spider-Man. Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, so we can actually talk about a lot about AI. If we are talking about in the domain of industries, if we think about anywhere in the thing, like in the traveling, I can't actually tell you the whole example about being the thing actually.
Okay, let's keep it very simple. Have you used AI?
Yes.
Do you use it in your daily work?
Yes. I do.
Be careful when you answer that.
I do use AI in my daily work. Let me be very frank.
How do you? So when you say in your daily work, what do you mean?
In the daily work, as in from the starting itself. Alright, what do you understand by AI? That is the artificial intelligence, right?
No, okay. So just
are you talking about the ChatGPT?
Yeah, I'm talking about ChatGPT.
No.
Like a brief thingy. Wait, hold on. A brief thingy. We both are trainers, right? We both teachers. Sorry.
We should not say about that particular thing about using ChatGPT for to training those people.
Well, we are not technically. Hold on. That's a different physical discussion. We'll get there. My point being, we both are trainers at Gujarat University, Parul and Silvero, right? We both are trainers and more or less we use ChatGPT, well at least he uses ChatGPT in his daily workflow. Vivek, please tell us how do you use ChatGPT?
I didn't say that thing. I'm using AI for different tools. For example, for making those GIFs spatially, right? For making people understand like what the content I'm actually delivering, whether they are able to understand that particular thing or not. And frankly speaking, AI is there to help us to make our task much easy, right? We all are using that particular thing.
You are talking around in circles. I want the specific answer. Where do you have you? Okay, I will keep a very simple question. Have you used ChatGPT to create a presentation slide ever?
No.
Sure.
I'm quite sure.
Okay, you have heard this here first. Vivek sir does not use ChatGPT to create his presentation slides.
I don't think so.
Why not? So what's wrong? What's wrong with that?
See, The major thing which I am actually also seeing that thing, whenever I go to classes, right? People are in the practical lab sessions as well. People do use those particular AI tools to,
Cheat?
not cheat exactly to get the answers, right? To get the answers. But frankly speaking, AI is doing the same thing which we actually want the students to do. That is research. Research by present.
But do you not think that now the AI is doing the work for them, so the students are not going to do it themselves?
Yes, that is a very important thing, and the reason, see, we as a trainer as well, like we have to understand because when we are researching, we are getting to know a lot of things while researching, right? We will study if, for example, let's take a normal example. If we are into networking, if we want to learn about OSI part, if we want to learn about TCP/IP handshake, right? So there are different things which will be around that topics as well. For example, DNS, DHCP, how those are particular working. You will get to those particular links to see about that thing. But if you are writing that particular question on a chat GPT, then you are getting the direct answer to that. So there is no point of giving us the research to, to the students to make that thing understand.
So what? We should just ban ChatGPT? Is that
No, I don't think so. That is a different topic
no,
itself.
no. I know I'm on purpose dragging you into that. Like,
Yeah.
Why do you? So wait. It's bad for students.
Yes.
But it's bad. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase it. It's bad for research.
Yeah, it's bad for research.
Okay. So what, students shouldn't try this out, or should they try it out? At least once.
See, there's one guy from China or North Korea, which I think, alright. What he did, because there were many issues related to the essay which the students were submitting to this faculties, they were all AI based. So that student actually made a particular dedicated software which will actually check whether that that essay has been created by that AI or not. Alright. So it is kind of an anti thing which he did.
Well, it's once again it's filled with memes. I use AI to defeat AI. that's what we
that is kind
because
of
I'm pretty
that
sure
is
that if
kind
you
of
want
true.
to check if something is written by AI, you need to use AI.
Yeah, definitely. But see, when we are into studies, when we are doing something research, alright, students are what? They are actually learning things. And we have different in artificial intelligence, with the coming of artificial intelligence, what I think, it's my opinion, it's completely my opinion, is that there should be innovation and research. Innovation and research always goes together.
Okay.
There is going to be research, then you will come up with the ideas, then it will go to innovation part. But if you are not doing the research yourself, right, then there is not going to be any innovations related to that thing. I accept AI because it makes things easy for us, alright, in certain ways. But making everything easy, making the research part easy, I don't think that is kind of correct way to go.
Okay, I mean that's what you are saying, but what I would say at the moment is, hold on, we are having some technical difficulties. I think that's sorted out. Maybe. No. Now the main question is: do we cut this out? No, we are keeping this. We are keeping this in. Okay, we are keeping this unscripted. We are keeping this unscripted. Okay, so as I was saying, studies, right?
Yeah, studies.
Recently, what I've seen on ChatGPT is I was stuck. This is a true story. Yesterday, I was on a call with my friend. We are figuring out how to schedule workflows on Airflow. There's a software. We have to schedule scripts for data fetching and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And at that moment, we were stuck. Like, how does this thing work? We were going through the documentation and we couldn't find what module to use. I went on ChatGPT and my friend was like, listen, that's not going to work. It's a gimmick. It's a tool. It's not going to work. And I was like, hold on. Let's just see. So I go on ChatGPT and I just write out the exact thing that was going on. Like the same way I would ask my senior that, hey, listen, this is not working. What do I do? And the ChatGPT answered and it delivered. And it's like, hey, listen, you need to change this. And I was like, maybe, what if I take the exact script, I copy paste it into the ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, hey, what's wrong with this? And ChatGPT was like, here, this line, this is what you are doing wrong. And at that moment, I was like, whoa, this is good. Like, this is good level stuff. Like, how many times, see, ChatGPT is not like your internet search which will give you results. It's like that senior, your mentor that you reach out to, and your mentor usually is like, listen, maybe check line number 63. Something is wrong with line number 63, and that's what AI is doing, right? And listen, if you think that ChatGPT is not that impressive, I'll go out on a limb and I'll just say that you have been using it wrong. There are ways. The way you give it a prompt, it's not Google search. People use ChatGPT as Google search. Do not do that. Use it as if you are talking to a friend. It's a conversational model. That's what it is, right?
Consider it like a mentor actually, because then only you will be able to understand exactly what it is actually helping you out. And frankly speaking, even when you are asking something, then also the exact thing which is according to the question, it answers you back, right? It writes you back.
If you're thinking that it's answering you something wrong, maybe it is just answering what you asked.
Yes, you are asking it in a wrong way.
Maybe you're asking the wrong question.
Yeah.
And that happens for students listening to this. It might not be a very obvious thing, but many times, and I tell you, literally hundreds of times, when a student comes asking for a doubt, and when you give them the answer, they are not satisfied with the answer, right? But that is because they are asking the wrong question all along, right? And when you give them that, hey, maybe you want to ask this, and they're like, oh, yeah, never mind, I got you.
That was the question.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
And they already know the answer, right? So I'm just going to go out on a limb and listen. One shared brain cell is not better than 100 billion neurons that the ChatGPT is trained on. So you have to keep that in mind at least, right?
Yeah.
So for the final verdict, it is ChatGPT good.
We can say it has good, bad, but currently, how you use it?
Are you going to end it on every single 10th grader ends their essay? So everything has good sides. Everything is like two sides of a coin. There are disadvantages. Are you going to end it on that?
From childhood only, it is told to everyone about that particular thing. Like how you use it.
Only ICSE people.
It depends on how you are actually using it. Frankly speaking, that's how it is. It can be good. It can be bad. If you are using it for research, that could also work in a fine manner because you are getting all those content in a single format itself.
You're worried about the content right now. I'm worried about that I just alienated 90% of our audience. So
right now.
I'm not admitting that. I said what I said. I stand by it. But talking about ICSE and talking about I have a good transition. Hold on. So talking about ICSE, talking about poems and novels that you read, talking about novels. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Talking about novels, we talk about Shakespeare, right? And talking about Shakespeare, he was known as the Bard of the England, right? And talking about Bard of the England, let's talk about Bard. The Google thing. Nailed it.
So if I talk about Bard, like it came after ChatGPT.
So let's just give an overview. Bard is it's the implementation of Google. It's an answer to Google. Now to talk about that, let's go a bit and rewind. So what happened is ChatGPT was invested by Microsoft. They put around $1 billion and then they put here just accept $10 billion, and then they just went along and Microsoft is trying to integrate ChatGPT into Bing, right? Now imagine, one thing that everyone should know, ChatGPT does not have access to internet. It does not. When you ask, it's already trained on a static model and that's it. Whatever it is giving you the information, it is from a static trained model, right? But when you incorporate it with Bing, now for people who do not know what Bing is a search engine by Microsoft. Some of you people are like, there's something other than Google. Yes. Okay, DuckDuckGo, try it out. Anyways, my point being, Bing is a search engine that is, forced down upon everyone through Microsoft. If you have a Windows
Internet
laptop,
Explorer, the earlier Internet Explorer, which we used to have to download Chrome.
Yes, exactly, right? Now see, it's a meme at this point that no one uses Internet Explorer. Everyone uses Chrome, right? Chrome is faster. Now there's a new meme that Chrome eats RAM, so everyone uses Firefox or Brave, right? We are not going into browser section, not right now. If we run out of content, we'll talk about it.
But to be honest, there is one point like the Edge actually came out with a bang because it was earlier used as just to download. I remember one thing when I have downloaded Chrome, used Internet Explorer, that is just to download Chrome in every system, in every device which I have seen people doing that.
But it's not just you; it's every single IT manager of any company. Like at this point, it's so bad. I mean, Internet Explorer is going out of what? From now on, if you open Internet Explorer, it will just redirect it to Microsoft Edge.
It is going to.
There is a difference between Microsoft. See, Microsoft Edge is not a rebranded Internet Explorer, right? Internet Explorer is a legacy browser that used to come up with Windows. It still shows up, right? But the thing is, Microsoft Edge is based on Chromium. If you have ever wondered that why does the setting, the settings page on Microsoft Edge look remarkably similar to the Google Chrome page, it's because they are based on the same browser, source code, right? Chrome is also based on Chromium, and Microsoft Edge is also based on Chromium. Even Opera,
they are sharing the same platform.
They are the same code base. Even Opera is it uses Chromium. Brave also uses Chromium. Chromium is just the open source variation. Every single student who has been in my class, they're like, yes, I knew that. Anyways, Chromium is the open source version, and Google Chrome is the one. It takes everything from Chromium, it adds more features onto it, and it's like, okay, here. Which if it feels similar, it is the exact same funda that is happening with Android. Android is open source, right? But the Samsung's One UI, the Color OS, the what is the OS for Oppo?
Same.
No, Color OS, and you have something else. Vivo? No, not Vivo OS.
That is the OS is same.
No, you call it something else. Color OS, and there's
I forgot. I'm sorry.
MIUI.
MIUI.
Are we shouting too much for camera to handle? No, it's fine. MIUI, Color OS, and then something else. They are just implementations of Android, right? Even the Pixel experience is what the interpretation of Android by Google, right? So it's the same funda with browsers. Wow, we started with Bard and now we are on this tangent. Anyway, to wrap up all the storylines, my point being, Microsoft Edge is a decent enough browser right now, but the best part is it's really good. It has so many AI features, and with the new integration of ChatGPT inside it, they are trying a lot of new things. For example, I don't know if you know this, if you open a PDF on Microsoft Edge, and if you go to the AI feature to summarize a PDF, imagine you get a 250 page long PDF by Vivek sir. Okay, Vivek sir sends you a 250 page PDF for reverse engineering, right? And he's like, okay, go figure it out. So you can just put it in Edge. He doesn't do that, obviously. He doesn't do that. But my point being, if you put that into Edge and if you open it and if you tell the AI that, hey, can you please summarize it? It will summarize it for you in less than 10 seconds, which is a big deal. Which is a really big deal. You can just counter question and be like, hey, give me the highlight points or give me the answers for these topics which might show up.
These are also an example of AI actually.
This is what AI is.
Organizing the whole actually thing.
So, considering me, I have been a super hardcore Brave user. Like, I would not for the life of me switch to any other browser.
The first thing which I thought actually, frankly speaking, you also don't know about. I think the first thing which I saw about you was like you were actually using Brave. I was like, okay, he is from the Brave criteria.
If I say even now, if I see a student who uses Brave and I'm like, you know what, yo bro, you are a good dude, I can trust you with that. You use Brave. That means you understand what is going on. Even though that person might struggle to open a PDF, that's not the point. We will not criticize our students. But what I was saying is, like, Brave is a thing. It has ad blockers. Okay, I do not understand the people who pay for YouTube Premium. While I say that, I look into the reflection into the camera because I pay for YouTube Premium. Because guess what? You cannot get YouTube Answer on an iPhone. Okay, it sucks. But my point is, Brave has so many good features, right? Then I switched to Safari because now you can get the same kind of content blockers on Safari, which is I'm good enough with as long as you're blocking ads. Wait, this is a dicey thing. What if we put ads on the podcast? We're not generating any revenue. Listen, if you are on Brave browser right now, can you like disable the shields and reload it and watch
Just
a
to
few
check.
ads? And you just click on a few ads, right? And drop down a comment. And also, if you are still watching, you are 20 minutes in. If you are still listening, okay. If you're driving your car, if you're listening, just take a moment and give us a subscribe because and listen,
Yes,
I don't
please.
want to sound like
Please.
one of those Minecraft gamers, but what 78% of you people who are watching right now or listening are not subscribed. So
Bad.
subscribe.
Do subscribe.
Right? Vivek sir will be disappointed in you. And if Vivek is disappointed in you, he is the most serious person we have. So yeah. But getting back to the point. So Microsoft Edge is basically incorporating all of this. It is incorporating that into Bing. Right? Now Bing used to suck big time. It still kind of sucks. But to get access to the waitlist for ChatGPT, they have this funda that hey, you set Edge as your default browser. You set Bing as your default everything. And well, that's basically it. You keep Bing, you use Bing, you get some reward points or something, and you have access to ChatGPT, right? And I believe when it comes up, ChatGPT with internet access, that is a killer. That is a killer.
That is going to be
And
different.
to answer that, Google came up with their own AI system, which is called Bard, right? And finally, we call it
Bard.
yeah. So we are on Bard, and Bard is basically Google's answer, right? They have this model. I forgot what's the model called. They showed it.
They are actually using online.
Lambda.
Yeah. Lambda.
Lambda model. So it is
They are
a
using Lambda.
language model, something, and Google is incorporating that. But now the thing is, Google actually made a blunder. Do you know
Yes.
about what blunder I'm talking about, Vivek?
Sorry, can you
Or what?
the blunder, like it actually broke down.
No. So
The
what,
news which came into the
the news.
the recent news about the Bard itself.
We will actually show it up on the screen. Maybe I'll start recording. And you are damn right we are keeping this in. Well, we were gonna bleep out the damn, so you have no idea what I said. Okay. Anyways, the recent blunder with Bard was Bard AI Google News about Bard AI. Wait, Bing.com/news. Listen, I'm using Bing.
the
Right?
search
Wait, I got extra. I'm not kidding. I actually got extra reward points. I don't know if you guys.
On the BBC itself, there is actually a news about Google Bard's airport mistake wipes $100 billion of shares.
Yeah, so what happened is in one of the presentations, and it's not a live presentation, okay, it's a presentation that they came up with. What happened is there was a wrong question. So one of the questions asked to ChatGPT was which was one of the exoplanets, which was the first outer planetary photo, what telescope took that photo, basically something like that, right? Yeah, it offered see, this is why we use ad blockers. Anyways, the response that telescope was the first to take picture of a planet outside Earth's solar system, and in fact, the milestone was claimed by the European Very Large Telescope in 2004. Right, a mistake quickly noted by astronomers on Twitter. And if you know Twitter, the Google's market share dropped. The worst part is they should have you should have fixed that mistake in post. Like if you're creating a presentation and if it is like this level necessary, important, they should have fixed it.
They should definitely. Come on, they are giving the presentation on the large basis. They should have.
But the most interesting thing at the situation right now is Google has everything to lose.
Yeah.
Like even if Google wins, Google doesn't gain anything, just holds on to the user base. Right? But Bing on the other hand, sorry to cut you off, but Bing on the other hand, it has nothing to lose and everything to gain. If nothing happens, if Google wins, Bing is like, okay, cool. Like people hated us, they still hate us, right? But if it succeeds, Google will take over. Bing will take
Bing
over.
is going to take over.
In the AI race. Even if it takes over 10% of the traffic, that's what we are talking about, billions of dollars.
That is more than that, actually.
Yeah, more than billions of dollars.
That is more than that. That is more than that.
Hashtag not economists, but.
So coming back to the same previous question all right, about AI. In general question, what we
hold on. Are we keeping a counter at the bottom? Like how many times we have said AI?
Me?
All of us.
We
All
are
of us.
talking about
Both of
AI.
us.
We are talking about
I just increase the counter. Listen. Someone in the comments, someone, please can you keep a track of how many times we have said AI? And I swear to God, there is going to be one dude who will write an algorithm,
And then
train it on AI, take the voice transcript, and they'll be like, yeah, this many times you
This
said
is
the word AI. Right? Also, for every single people watching, just because you're gonna do that, okay Google, hey Siri, Alexa, and Cortana. No one uses Cortana. You know what? It's
No.
fine. You win. But listen, if your AI got activated right now, wait, they are listening to you all the time. They are listening to you.
Definitely.
I know this conversation is going into privacy, and that is a good segue into cybersecurity. Contact Tech Defense for all of your cybersecurity needs. That's the promotion. Sunny sir, hopefully you are happy.
So, coming back to our topic, that is AI. So, if we talk about AI, like in the general way, that is the most basic question which everyone is asking nowadays. That is AI going to take over the whole world? Is it going to take over the jobs? Is it going to do something like that? So, to address that particular thing, let me tell you, what do you think?
Is my job gonna be taken over AI?
AI or not? You're training.
I'm in
You're
training.
training right now.
I'm in training.
Your student can imagine Aman sir in a robotic form coming over there telling those people in robotic
Wait. Hold on. That's just copying me. That's not AI.
So let's talk about
Like
what
just
about ChatGPT?
What
Taking
ChatGPT taking
work.
over my work?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
a
my
good
students love me. They're not gonna. Hey, come on. Would you prefer ChatGPT or me? Who's gonna wait? Listen. So advantages and disadvantages.
Point.
ChatGPT is not gonna school them. They're not gonna give them deadlines. You can program it too, but then again, ChatGPT is not going to be reasonable. I'm reasonable, right? Like if a student comes up to me
They
and
won't. ChatGPT is not going to give you chocolates for solving cryptographic questions. Correct.
great, you told that to the entirety of YouTube. Now what? I have to shell out for $1,000. Why would you? I bet you there are 5 comments and bottom of this video like comments in chocolate baki hai mera. There's going to be like 5 people like, sir, chocolate baki rahega. What's up with that?
So, yeah. What about that?
I doubt it. I mean, see, there are some things that I have.
It's kind of very.
It's a tough
thing. It's a tough question. See, what I actually think about this particular thing is that if we talk about the history as well, right? So, just taking it back to the history itself, we have seen how those machine industries have evolved. Like earlier, people were doing all those mechanical work. For example, painting the car. I'm talking about the Industrial Revolution time, right? So those all things are taken over by the robots and by those particular AI I'm talking about because they know exactly how much to paint, how much to do the work, so that the product they are making is going to be efficient enough, right? That is going to be effective enough to be in the use for the normal public. In the similar manner, if AI is currently coming right now, they are going to take over the same jobs, all right? And what do you think exactly about those particular things, right? They are going to take over the jobs, no doubt. But then I'm talking about the laborious, not the difficult jobs which we actually usually see it as.
Right. So if you talk about laborious work, you're talking about physical work which might be taken over.
That is already taken by the robots. That is already taken by.
So hold on. There are some. You have DAL-E, right, which is an image generation thing.
Yes.
Would you like? There are art galleries right now which would have paintings made by robots.
That is the different level of kind of thing. We are talking about creativity in AI.
Yeah, but that's so you are saying your laborious work. So what? Like a content writer?
For example, normal. Like I should not say art thing because I'm myself in cybersecurity, but. If I talk about normal,
I think it's fair.
All right.
I mean, you have to keep that in mind, right?
Yeah. The thing about that particular thing is, for example, if we are let's just take a normal example. Let's talk about SOC, right?
Yeah. There's this scene from The Office where Dwight is talking on the radio and the shares are dropping or something. The shares are dropping.
Going back. All right.
Hold on. Let's just explain that weird cut.
That-
You want to move? Okay.
that
We
is
are focused.
Yeah.
So what happened is, Vivek was talking about some confidential SOC thing.
Yeah,
and then
then
the camera just stopped recording.
Someone's
The camera
watching.
stopped recording. Because I'm pretty sure it's someone from our company. They're like, hey, listen,
this is
Shut
what
up.
you have to say.
you cannot talk about that.
You cannot talk about this. Yeah.
Well, no. For real, you were saying something about
SOC.
analyzing data. and
Yeah. Those particular thing is like, if those tedious work are done by the AI itself, right? Then why not?
Okay.
So see, the thing about the AI and the things about the revolutions are, now we can say we have seen industrial revolution, we have seen green revolution, we have seen white revolution. White was for milk, green was for farmers, for those, right?
Yeah.
Currently, it is the AI revolution which is going on. And frankly speaking, this is going to take over thoda bahut jobs, but that is going to be those jobs which is going to be tedious for the jobs, those kind of particular jobs, and it will make things easy. It is going to evolve us into a better form which we have always imagined, and the high
But-
kind society. And
No,
things like
hold
that.
on. So, wait, I forgot. When I said that I will give you some amount of money, and you said that came on camera, that actually didn't come on camera.
Oh
that,
my
didn't come on camera. But anyways, my point is, so what I was saying is, for example, let's say I give you $10 million.
Yes.
Let's say tomorrow I give you $10 million, and I tell you that, hey Vivek, you have, let's say, X amount of time, 1 month, to train an AI.
Yes.
Okay, and let's say you're not a trainer, your job is something, it's very crucial. Okay, you sit and decide what company or what person gets an insurance. Okay, lives depend on your job.
Okay.
Okay, but at the end of the day, it's just numbers on spreadsheet for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But knowing very well that if you mess up a number somewhere, it's someone's actual company, someone's actual revenue, someone's actual life dependent on it.
Yeah.
And I've given you enough time to train.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you change your AI, it is doing your job, and you're still getting paid for that work. You're still getting paid handsomely.
Yeah.
Funny. But you are still getting paid handsomely for that job.
Yeah.
Would you trust in AI to do your job?
Frankly speaking, see, you're bringing that emotional portion as well in this particular machine wala thing, but
Vivek has gone corporate. There's like no emotion.
no.
When
the
there's
thing-
money involved, there are no emotions. Vivek is like no emotions. Is that?
the point over here, which you are actually telling me, is that see, even in if you put emotions as well, but you can't go beyond something that is beyond the laws or beyond those company policies, right?
So who's gonna know? It's behind closed door. There's no policy.
If the audit comes, internal audit, external audit, what will happen?
We are going
We are
into
in
SMS.
cybersecurity as well.
We are going into SMS.
Yes.
Why do we have to
Yes,
go into SMS?
yes. So, see, there are some things like you have to go and work in a certain rules, right? In a certain framework, you have to work inside.
That seems
And
like such a diplomatic answer that
That's
you're
not
giving me.
like in the AI itself, with the help of those particular data, we can actually train those particular model to work in those range or functions. All right. If such cases arises, for example, if you are working where we have to approve that thing, that is totally dependent. AI need an authorization from higher management, like which is going to be human. Obviously, the human. Your job is not going to be taken. Don't worry. Right. So obviously, we have something in our hand as well.
I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT because Vivek is giving me diplomatic answers. Will you work for me where my job is to handle numbers on a spreadsheet? Do you see if there is an ethical dilemma with
ChatGPT will say no because she understands.
She. Okay, that's interesting. No, hold on. No, not on that. Shut up. So, we have already, amorphous, what's the word? When you treat an inanimate object with feelings, emotions, I don't know what's that. We should probably ask ChatGPT about that. But the thing is, when I was typing, I asked ChatGPT that do you see? Right, but it's a language model. It's incapable of thinking. ChatGPT does not think in the traditional sense. It is not conscious, right? But then still, I said something like, "Will you see?" or I said that, hey, will you help me? Do you think this brings an ethical dilemma? Do you think this happens? Right? We treat ChatGPT like a human, right? Almost, we can even what Vivek just referred to ChatGPT as a she, right? Or it doesn't matter. If you're giving it a gender already, you have already amorphized whatever the word is. Please correct me, right? Well, maybe you can have one of those funny.
Why not to check, ask it directly?
Are you a he, she, or a he? It's interesting.
It's a language model. I don't have a gender. I don't using any pronoun you prefer. So it is about the preference.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's giving a diplomatic answer.
See?
No, I think it's giving you a politically correct answer.
Actually, it is
No, it's so if you.
It is according to your preference.
No, I don't think that's a
correct way
of asking it.
Let's see that thing.
Because what? Given the controversies,
point.
You cannot just. It doesn't make sense for a noun thingy. Okay, hold on. I have the answer. As an AI language model, the question was, will you do a spreadsheet job? Is there an ethical dilemma? As an AI language model, I'm not capable of working for anyone in the traditional sense, but I can certainly provide information and insights on your question. Handling numbers on a spreadsheet doesn't necessarily present an ethical dilemma in and of itself. However, ethical dilemmas can arise depending on how the information on the spreadsheet is used or how it is obtained. For example, if the numbers on the spreadsheet contain sensitive or confidential information, there may be ethical consideration around how that information is accessed.
They are giving diplomatic answers right now.
It is important to consider.
They are evolving.
Ethical principles such as respect for autonomy, non-malfeasance, benefits, and justice when working with data. Okay. Do you understand the concept of thinking? As in our AI language, okay, it's just starting with the same thing. I can process and generate text based on patterns and algorithms, but I do not have the subjective experiences or conscious thought in a way that humans do. You can simulate, sure. Also, just insight, it's not a chat. We call it Chat GPT, but it's actually based on the GPT-3 model. And a GPT-3 model is just a predictive based AI. Now, when I say a predictive text AI, you guys, all of you have these predictive text on your Android keyboards. Like you have suggestions on your keyboard, right? Have you ever played that game where you just keep on tapping the center word and try to make a sentence, right? That is what ChatGPT is. Every single time it writes something, even if I am giving a prompt, it is not necessarily answering the prompt. It is just taking that prompt and imagining that, hey, what would be the answer be? So answer, and then it just keeps on going. So for example, it tries as an artificial intelligence language model. So every single time it types, not even types, but displays something, it is just thinking, okay, what should I thinking? It is just, I'm running out of nouns and verbs.
That's why you can refer to any pronoun.
Yeah, right. My point being, it is just trying to give us a specific, it is just trying to figure out a specific probability that, hey, this word is more likely to come up after this word. And that's more or less it. It's just a predictive language model. It's not a chat model. In fact, you would actually see this if you actually go to playground of OpenAI, I believe. We'll drop the link in the description. If you go to that playground, there are many options. There are options where you give it some Python code, it will explain the Python code to you. If you give it some explanation, it will write Python code for you.
Even in a similar manner, there is also something called black box, which actually people can use on VS Code.
Okay.
Yeah, where you just have to write the question according to whatever you want. It will give you the whole code. The running code I'm talking about.
Wait, hold on.
The running code I'm talking about, it will actually give you the whole code and you can run it on your own system.
And you think it is wise to see that on live where your students might be watching?
Don't use it. Research, innovate, do that thing. Please.
I've given my students assignments. They have to figure something in Python. You just go out and tell them that, oh, listen, it's an extension of VS Code. But if I give you 5 more minutes, you would have started a tutorial. You're like, okay, so you do this.
That is what we have to understand. Alright, we are learning. There should be, actually, After coming about the AI, right?
Yeah.
For example, what I have heard, right, and what I have also seen from different people who is actually studying out of India right now, they told me like they have special sessions taken by some of the seniors, which actually to tell them like how to Google things, right? How you should Google, how to search for those things.
In fact, see, being a programmer or being in cybersecurity,
You have to. That is one
need
of
to
the
understand how
to actually search for your answers, search for queries related to that particular doubts which come up in your mind, because there are many things which is going to conflict your doubts and conflict your thinking about different stuff. And if you do Google those particularly, right, and it is very important to ask the right question on the Google also, as well as in the GPT.
It's funny that that we use the word Google as a verb, right? That you Google something.
Google something, yeah.
So what do you think in the coming months? Because right now we are at this thing. I'm just gonna ask my editor to drop like a graph in between. We are at this point where the technology is new and we are on the high rise. Like it's going to explode. We are just before the explosion.
Yes.
Right? And in a month, do you think we'll be saying, "Oh, Bing it"?
That is going to
Or do you just say, like, "Oh, are you gonna Google that?" But do you actually just go on Bing and you just search?
That anything like frankly speaking, the way the Bing is actually working, I'm quite sure.
But so
like within the coming, like you have said 1 month, but I'm taking just to be on safe side.
2 months.
2 months, yeah, 2 months. Like within 2 months itself, within 1 month itself.
We are on the wait list. If we get on the wait list, we'll showcase it.
We'll showcase, obviously.
Right. But so the same. So when I say Google something, right, we use it as a verb. That's the same as me saying that, hey, can you Photoshop this?
Yes.
Yeah, because Photoshop is
software.
It's a software.
It's a software.
But now we are using it as a verb that, okay, can you edit this? It's the same way as what they see people call every single toothpaste Colgate.
Colgate. Colgate Liana.
Colgate. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, right? Yes. You just say Colgate. And
Colgate.
The same way we Indians call any photocopy Xerox.
Xerox
is a brand. It's a brand, right? You're not going to say, ye Xerox nikal ka, but that doesn't make sense. Right? I believe the same thing is happening with Google, because Google has been in the search business.
You have to search this thing, you have to search that. We actually, in the day-to-day life, we actually say what? We say Google.
Even I say that, hey, Google this, but then I go on DuckDuckGo and I just search something. Right? Like we use that specific word. With that, I mean, what do you think Google is in the business for? Or if you had to give like main division, like what does Google do? I'll give you a few options. Is Google a searching firm? Is Google a hardware phone manufacturer? Is Google what smart speaker? Or is Google a software company? Or is Google an ad company?
Frankly speaking,
what is the major revenue?
The major revenue is going to be in ad itself.
I believe the terms are like 51%. I do not want to be wrong on the internet. But how much of Google's, I'm going to Google this, revenue is from...
Google about its own revenue model.
It's funny. Hold on. I'm gonna record this because I just typed this and Bing just actually gave me suggestions. So how much of Google's revenue is from ads, from advertising? How does Google make revenue? Google's revenue by product. There are so many options. At least 3 of them is they're just auto-completing for ads.
Okay.
So from ads, and when I say I Googled it, I actually Binged it. Take that Google. Great, it's a Google ad at the top. It's a Google ad for Zapier. Like you wanna connect. Do you wanna guess? Do you wanna guess the number? Do not search it. Do not wanna guess the number.
That is going to be around 50% or less than that.
More than blank percentage of Alphabet's revenue comes from Google Ads, which generated $147 billion in revenue last year. Google has been market leader in online advertising for well over a decade. It is expected to command nearly a 29% share of digital ad spending globally. That's a 29% ad spending globally, not for the company. Do you want to guess the actual number? How much is Google earning from ads? When I say Google, that means it's YouTube.
That is
Come on, guess. What?
I can go around 100 million.
No, I'm talking about what percentage of the revenue. So Google Pixel sells this much. Google Pixel
That is 30, 35, 40.
35%.
40 is too much, man. Come on.
40% of Google's revenue comes from ads.
Yes. 40 is still too much. That is going to be the whole company under that.
You are not even close. More than 80% of Alphabet's revenue comes from Google ads. Right? That includes YouTube ads, because if you just take YouTube into consideration, YouTube makes Google around 3 billion per week.
We see Google as a software company which provides us different software, but it is actually an ad company. That is a big revelation, bro. We are not doing it, but I got to find out today. So okay.
I thought the percentage was around 45. But it's way high. It's way high.
It is way too high.
In fact, okay. One of I gotta record this.
Yeah.
Okay. On the screen, once again, I just gotta record the time. The time is 20:45. But on the screen right now, by clicking allow all, you agree to storing of cookies on your device to enhance site navigation and analyze. Wait, what do you think about cookies? Also, what do you think why is there a big blue button? Why is there a big blue button?
Yeah.
That our monkey brain is just going to click with sure, big blue button, and then
just allow it.
There's not even a disallow button. The button says something like, here it says cookie consent manager. That seems like something you would click on and you would get to a terms and conditions on a page, right?
This is where the Google is getting all those money from, because they are keeping those cookies. They are actually using those cookies to understand you into the model, like what you are liking, what you are not. They are showing you those particular ads, which is according to your likes, according to your time, or how much time you are spending on that particular thing, and they are generating their revenues.
So for 2022, the ad revenue was 224 billion US dollars. For 2022. 2021, it was $209 billion. 2020, it was 146. There is a big jump in the graph. It has been exponential. The lowest they have ever made is $0.07 billion. Back in 2001, when no one had internet.
No one had internet, yeah.
Damn. This is crazy.
That is quite.
But like, Vivek, have you seen... so we actually call it dark patterns on the internet, which just means that whenever you open a website, sometimes you might, be automatically asked to log in. For example, if you open LinkedIn, there's an option like, hey, do you want to sign in on the LinkedIn, for example, and it will automatically sign in. There are some websites, for example, Reddit. If you go on Reddit, what will happen is it will automatically sign you in, right? You have to click the X button like, hey, do not sign me in. I do not want to be tracked. One of the best example is you having cookie banner. Now the cookie banner is like, hey, confirm choices, and something says no, right? Another example would be in email. Sometimes you get not VPN subscription that, hey, do you want to renew a subscription? Now you might be thinking that, okay, you know what? So there are two buttons, red and green. So usually green is for confirmation, red is for no. Yeah. They changed that button. Now you click on red and you are expecting to close out, but it's not working. There are many applications which hide their close button.
That's a marketing strategy.
But it is a dark pattern. Did you notice the recent Instagram change? They changed the like activity button to reels.
Yeah.
So like when you necessarily go there to check if my crush liked my picture or reel, usually it's me just checking out, hey, how many views did our reels get? But it's just me checking that what's the insight on my reels. And yesterday I was doing that and I clicked on it and it just opened a reel. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why would it open a reel? And it's not a reel from Tech Defense. What is happening? Like all the reels on Instagram should be from Tech Defense. Right?
Tech Defense.
Right? Tech Defense. Someone create a Tech Defense counter.
Tech Defense.
Tech Defense.
Tech Defense.
And this is a dark pattern as well.
Exactly.
You're putting something into the viewer's mind. They're like, okay, Tech Defense.
Yeah.
Right? But my point is, I clicked on it and it just opened up reels.
Yes.
I was like, that doesn't make sense. Where's the heart-shaped button? That is like, I click on it usually. And then I realized that Instagram had updated their app and I cannot click on it. It doesn't make sense. And the heart-shaped button is on the top of the screen. Imagine you are holding on. See, every phone nowadays, like stuff at the bottom is easier to reach. I'm showing my phone, but I think it's visible. stuff at the bottom is easier to reach, right? If you're gonna hold your phone like this with one hand, are you seriously gonna extend your thumb to the top to
And it is
actually
also
click that
placed,
button?
it is also placed somewhere in between the
Message
and
and
all.
like.
Yeah, message is placed just beside the message itself, so it is quite hard to reach.
It's hard to reach, and more or less what you're gonna happen is either you're gonna be thrown to the explore tab,
Yes.
or you're gonna click on someone's story.
Someone's stories.
Like I do not want to watch your story. Okay, I do not care that you have been on a vacation in what. We'll keep that. We'll take that out. I do not bloody care. Okay, how you went on a vacation or whatever, but that's a personal preference. What I was saying is this is not the first time that Instagram has done that. Previously, the reel button was in the between. Before that, they brought the Instagram marketplace in between. And before that, Instagram had this feature, IGTV.
That was one of the things.
They replaced the messaging button at the top with IGTV. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what's up?
That is like
it's super bad. There was this other case where they replaced the post button to the reel button again. Like at the center, there used to be a plus button where when you click on it, you can post. And yeah, that's an example of dark pattern.
Dark pattern, like these, what I think is the new generation marketing strategies which they are using. The new gen marketing strategies. So that is the marketing strategy. Like, in the marketing strategy itself, like people in the marketing itself know they have a different kind of thing, but you are doing marketing on a digital environment. So how you are going to do that thing particularly?
So plus you have to take into account that everyone has short attention spans because of TikTok and Reels.
Obviously, and the reason what they are doing right now, because everything is going on views.
Yeah,
understood. And if by mistake, I'm saying, you click on your ex's or someone else's profile or whatever that is stories, then there might be a chance that you are going to spend more time on that. So with the spending of time, they are generating those revenues itself. That is going to be like
personal experience talking.
I'm saying, yeah.
Well, so also, like, there's a thing that I've noticed on at least on our page, is that if you make a reel which is very informative, but it's very long, if you go beyond the 1 minute mark, the reel performs poorly. And it's not because that our followers aren't watching. It's that the Instagram algorithm will not push the reel to the other people.
Point. Like, frankly speaking, whenever you see reels on Instagram, alright, just think about one thing. What you guys can see different content the content creators are making, but related to information, related to things, related to education I'm talking about, you won't be able to see those kind of reels unless what
it's
I am seeing right now, the catchy reel which you will see a lot. But what I'm trying to say over here, right now, AI I'm looking at. I don't know how those AI came into those particular picture. I am looking AI everywhere right now. Everywhere.
It's because it's the trend.
It is just because it is trend, and the only topic which I can say which came into the picture from our side is the AI itself. Like I haven't seen that much growth in any of those particular.
But then would you not argue that we are just perpetuating the growth because we are talking about AI right now?
That's what marketing is.
I mean, I don't know if it's intentional or maybe it's a subconscious thing.
It's a subconscious thing, or see, frankly speaking, mano, nahi mano, AI is taking over things.
It will take over.
It is.
It is. I just hope it's not the way that NFTs and blockchain thing. Like, remember what happened to blockchain? It's like blockchain. Put all of your money in Shiba Inu. Do not do that. Shiba Inu, Dogecoin.
So the major thing which I understand from Dogecoin and along with the NFTs is that many people didn't understand what is happening around.
Right? Would you not argue that it's happening the same thing with AI?
No. The reason I'm saying this thing is because with the help of AI, right? With the help of particularly AI, we are able to see those particular things over here on our screen, how those things are working and how those things are actually doing stuff. So if it is present in front of you, then how can you actually say that particular thing? Like, it is actually present, right? And you are able to see that thing. So obviously you will understand about this.
But okay, fair enough. But so you would like to argue that what people actually understand AI,
What I want to say is that
understand how to use it.
no, see, we as a human, all right, we have a very bad habit of trusting something which we can see, which we can feel. So
But
it is our in subconscious mind that we are actually seeing how the AI is actually growing, how those AI is actually working. If I talk about blockchain NFTs, many people didn't have any idea about how those particular things
because
are
you
working.
might have not traded Bitcoin, it's not tangible. It's something you can
Uh,
hold.
I can understand is that you can say in that manner as well. But there's the blockchain was not in that simplified version where we will make people understand how it is actually working. But in AI, we can actually see in front of us how it is actually working, and everyone is talking about that thing because they are able to understand.
Okay, but I would like to argue that it's the lack of people trying to monetize or scam other people on the name of AI. One of the scams.
Blockchain.
It's the lack. For example, in
Okay.
AI, it's very difficult to scam someone. Be like, hey, okay, your money is gonna. No one's gonna see monetary benefit in AI. Not right now. At least not on an individual level. Unless you are Microsoft and just spend like $10 billion and own like 49% of OpenAI. But my point being, for blockchain, I would argue it's not the tangible thing because I have put around, let's say, 5,000, not real. I've put around 5,000 in Shiba Inu. I have not gonna admit. Okay, I put around hypothetically put around 5,000 rupees
Everyone
in
has
Shiba
their
Inu,
experiences, yeah.
right? And the next day, like the worst part is it was the Shiba Inu was at like 0.09 or something, and that was the highest. And I'm like, listen, it's at highest. Okay, it's gonna go up, and I put money. But one thing, Vivek, and this is a very philosophical thing that I'll just say: if you are at the top, the only place you can go is down.
Down.
if you are at the top,
I can
then
feel
there's
the
only one thing you can go down, right? So the thing is, people are trying to monetize that, and people were seeing that, like, hey, listen, you put money, you get money on the spot, right? There are so many apps on the Play Store. Even now, there are so many Bitcoin scams happening that hey, you put some money, you get it back because it was not well understood.
Yes.
That hey, you put money, it's a magical thing, you get money back. I would say that AI is not monetized like that. I mean, there would be scams for sure. See, it's like a back and forth battle between hackers and.
Frankly speaking, right now, what I am also looking at some of those reels I'm talking about, alright, the people, alright, they are telling actually the people in the reels itself, like how they are making a lot of money to travel in Rolls Royce, to travel in their private jets, is that they're using AI tools to do what? To do trading. In that particular manner, they are actually doing the same thing which they used to do before. I will teach you these things so that you could make money. Now AI will teach, my AI will give you those answers so that you could make those money.
Listen, so, if it feels too good to be true, it probably is. Like every single one of you guys have faced that, like what? Your crush suddenly comes up to you and is like, here is your number. The first thing you do is, am I dreaming? If it's too good to be true, it probably is. It probably is. Right. And not for us mortals, really.
So coming back to the topic.
You see how he changes the tone, but okay.
Yeah, so what I was actually telling you about is, so about spoofing, about doing the fraud, that is also going to be in AI itself. But I was talking about that trust factor which AI actually is making, because you are giving your questions to particular software.
You're interacting with the AI.
Yeah, you're giving your particular question to your AI, right? You are giving those questions and you are able to get the answers back. So it is building that trust factor itself. So I think AI is going to boom very much. It is going to be something like what we are talking right now. Maybe, who knows? All right, maybe there might be AI who is going to connect us in a different manner itself. Maybe you are watching us on a virtual something or something. I don't know. Like anything can happen.
Who knows if this clip will ever see the light of the day? Yeah. We are just talking into nothingness. That is too philosophical. Hold on, our time is gonna run out.
Yeah.
Hold on. There will be a cut. There will be a mandatory ad break in 3, 2, 1. And we are back. This talk is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Just kidding. This talk is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Use the code. We are not sponsored at the moment, but
We're not.
we're not.
Neither they can see actually, like we haven't moved. With the help of this bottle.
Raid. Oh yeah. Well, it's not a break. So listen, whenever you see a commercial break, do you actually think that the TBC's Republic Day episode is actually shot on Republic Day? No, it's not.
No, it isn't. It's not.
Movie magic. Okay, movie magic. Do you want to ask our editor to like do something on screen like movie magic?
No. Yeah, there might be.
What? Do you wanna like? I just like there here somewhere here. It's just gonna say movie magic.
With those sprinkles.
It's just a movie magic. Magic is gonna kill me. He's like, now I have to find that goddamn asset. And then he also has to now find a bleep tone. Wait, that might affect our monetization.
That is going to be. No, that is not going to be. That is
No?
not going to be. No, that is not going to be. If you don't keep bleep, then it might.
Wait, we're not putting this on Twitch. We are not live.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wait. Would you be interested? Would you be interested if this was actually live?
That
Like then we might have to interact with the chat.
That is going to be more fun though. Come on.
What live answer? That will
Live
be
interaction. That is going to be more fun.
more fun, and it will just remind me of my day job, where I just sit and answer students' questions.
Yes.
Right.
But it's fun. Come on, it's fun.
I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm just saying it's tedious. Bring the chat GPT. I'm just saying that, hey, listen, if I've talked about something on a YouTube video, please go watch the video instead of asking me the exact same thing which I answered in my video. You know who you are. if you're thinking, hey, is Aman talking about me?
Yes.
Yes. But makes sense, right? Moving to our fourth talk point. On the screen, it just says YOLO.
YOLO. What is YOLO?
It just says YOLO. We are descending into madness without getting what a Joe Rogan experience. But we would like
missing though. Never mind. Yeah.
I have to cut that out.
Okay. Going back.
Now, going back to what I was saying is the fourth point is you. Imagine we never cut it out. We just keep it in. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You didn't have to say that, but okay. If at this point, if you are still listening, it's 1 hour and 3 minutes, more or less, right? We still deserve a subscribe, okay? And we at this point we deserve a share, right? Whose community is long enough that they're gonna listen to a 1 hour podcast?
I know. They are cheap.
A few people.
Yeah,
A few students.
Not just students. There are people who is actually interested in AI. Because see, watching
Hold on. You're gonna alienate our audience. If you just say AI, next week we're not gonna do AI. Next week we're gonna do
So
something
we're talking about AI.
next week we're gonna
talk about something important actually, or which I'm thinking about is.
do not commit. Do not commit. We are not committing to any topic. Next week we're gonna talk about something important, and that is why does Vivek not get a haircut? That's very important. You have so much work. You don't have enough time.
Don't ask. Corporate life.
Okay. As we are drifting off the topic. This is what happens when you don't make a script.
Yeah, this is what podcast is all about, being yourself. YOLO.
Yeah. The point. So you were saying that a lot of people watch podcasts. And
see, about podcast is what I prefer is watching podcast much in a better way, because now what we are getting into, because many people along with the people which I know, right, they all watch podcast because it's all those information which you get when you talk to a friend. It is kind of sitting in a friendly environment talking about things. You get knowledge, all right?
So like a YouTube video is too doctored, too edited.
No, the thing about the YouTube video is when you require that specific thing, right?
Yeah.
Then the YouTube video is very good. But what if because there are many stuff. For example, let me give you a normal example.
So
Also, in your when we train students, right? And with some students, when we say something to do, they do it just fine. But with some, we have to be friendly enough so that they can understand those particular things. So it is in the similar manner, podcast actually makes people connect, and then they are able to understand more.
Two things. Should you not have started with this? They're like the hook. Should you not have? We're gonna put this section specifically in the first. If you watch the entire podcast, it will make sense.
This is the reason I have told this यहाँ पे because ताकि last तक रहे तो उनको पता अच्छा.
How would they know if they are not here? It's a catch-22 situation. the only reason they will know that this was worth it is if they already spent their time.
But like it is kind of podcast. If I talk about a normal podcast, you get a lot of information freehand.
Right? Because it is friendly.
It is friendly as well as we are also freely talking about things, right? We are sitting in a free manner and we are talking about things. So it is kind of friendly for us as well because we are directly interacting with you guys.
Could you also argue that it's also about you actually not knowing the question that you're supposed to? Because you said on YouTube it's very direct. Like if you want to ask a direct question, you find the direct answer.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Podcast is like
it is all circle. We planned this entire conversation. We definitely planned
this. We did, YOLO. So, I was talking about one thing. Like in the initial, also I did talk about like research and innovation, right? When you are using ChatGPT, right, you are getting the direct answer to the particular question which you are asking, and this is what the YouTube video are doing. You are asking something, YouTube is showing you the things. In the podcast, you are doing what? You are doing those research. You are getting to know many things around it. This is what the podcast is doing. It is making you innovate as well. So podcast, for me, what I think is podcast is better because you get to know a lot of things to think about, to research as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
To be very frank, I zoned out on the last part because I was trying to think, what should I title this video?
YOLO.
That would be a good. That is terrible SEO.
I'm actually looking at
that is terrible SEO. That is just terrible SEO. Okay, our content manager is going to be like, what is wrong? Our producer is going to be like, is this why I make you guys sit together, give you a camera, and like you just sit and talk? I think it should be like what? Two security analysts talks about AI, or like two bros talk about AI.
Okay, two security bros talk about AI.
Two security bros. That makes it sound like security
guys. Yeah.
But then, what is security guard if not a hardware security analyst? Yeah, we don't need the Joe Rogan experience to have the Joe Rogan experience. But yeah, with that, we want to wrap up.
We'll see you very soon.
Yeah, soon. So whenever we have time to like edit this content, but also, if you actually stuck around till the end, we actually genuinely appreciate. Jokes aside, hearing two random people talk about random stuff for an hour. Yeah. If you found it interesting, you are probably one of our students. If you have any feedback, we would actually appreciate it.
Yes,
you can drop it down in the comments. Constructive criticism. Okay, we do not. I was gonna say we don't play very well to like other criticism, but that's not actually true. We deal with corporate. I'm just gonna stop there. But
the camera will close down.
The camera will just shut down. We lose our entire recording. But anyways, if you still stuck around, if you have any feedback or anything genuinely saying, we would appreciate it in the comments. This is going to be a more or less freestyle that we're gonna adopt from even in the future podcast. I said not commit, but we actually do have a plan for the next. We have a plan.
What?
but for real, we will come here and talk about a lot of things, not just cybersecurity in general, but
a lot of things.
Tech in general. Tech in general, and I think it's fine. We are still recording. In general, but if there's someone who likes to play games and stuff, Vivek is a gamer, and I have been known to dabble in a few games here and there.
Yes.
So we might even talk about games and storylines and AI, cybersecurity, tech, and all the buzzwords you can think of, because that is how we're gonna market.
Yep.
And so with that, I'm just gonna end our podcast. Final closing words.
YOLO.
YOLO.
Fearless. Fearless.